quality, testing is to, okay. So the main idea or the intention of testing is to perform a quality check, whether the product is, how the quality is. So how you are going to do the quality check, or how you are going to identify it. So you can see something like this. Okay. Right. The process. So you'll follow some steps to do the quality check or to identify the defects or whatever. So you will follow some process or some steps. Right? It may be anything, maybe any kind of application or a product. I'm not only saying this is a generalized thing I'm saying. So generally, what is the testing? Testing is nothing but the process of evaluating. So what you are doing, you are evaluating a product or an application, or it may be any other thing. So whatever you are doing, you are evaluating whether. So the process of evaluating the, so I am discussing in the terms of software or application, but this are you doing a testing, but you may do a different process in software. We will be doing, we will be following a different process, but in other ways, like if you see an automobile, they follow different practices, and if you see some other things, some other fields, they will do a different kinds of testing. So the process will be different, but the main idea is same: quality check or identifying the defects, right? So the process of evaluating the application. So mostly in software side, you'll see either applications or products. You can say both, anything. So the process, the process of evaluating the application or products. So what is your idea? What is your intention? An intent of identifying your defects. If any defects are there or not. Identifying the errors, or you can call errors or defects. Clear till now? Hello? Everyone clear till now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is testing?
Identifying errors. The process which we do to identifying errors.
Just check. Okay. Right. So, right. So the process of evaluating the application or products with an intent is nothing but with an idea of identifying the errors or defects. So this is our main idea or main goal of testing. Okay. So who is performing testing? Who will be doing the testing? So who is the person to perform testing?
Tester.
Tester is, what is the responsibility of a tester? So responsibility of tester is
To identify the defect.
for cross-checking application, whether what he was checking, whether not only to identify defects but also who is going to give the requirements? Right. according to the client requirement. So who is going to provide an application or who is going to give an application? So requirement or not. This is the main idea of the responsibility of a tester. So what is the tester doing? So he's not only going to identify, say the client. Hello. Hello. You go on mute. Can you go on mute if you are not talking? We can't. Can you go on mute? Thank you. Okay. So, see, I told you. See, so the client is giving some requirements, right? So, who is going to ask to develop an application? So, there will be some client. So, who is asking or who is going to give some requirements? So, this is what my requirement. So, please develop an application. So, your application should be developed according to the client what he is needing or what he's asking. It should not be according like whatever the developer is thinking he can't develop. So he needs to develop whatever the client is asking. In the same way he has to develop the application. So that is what we need to check whether the requirements have been implemented according to the client idea, or if the developer has changed any requirement. So that is what the tester is responsible in this process. If he identifies any issues or any mismatches or discrepancies, so he can report it to the developer stating that this is what I have the requirement from the client, but the actual implementation is not matching with the client requirement. So please re-implement or rectify it. So that is what you are, as a tester, we are going to tell the developers. Clear? Everybody? Hello? Any doubts? Hello?
No, sir.
Right, thank you. So, right now you understood like what is that? I mean, this is a very simple definition. You can tell what is the testing and what is the responsibility of a tester. But why we need testing? Why? Why we need testing? Anyone? Why? What is the need of testing, or why we need to do testing? So the client is giving the requirements and the developer will be developing according to the requirements, and he can directly deliver the product to the client or the customer. But why we are performing testing before delivering the product? Anyone? Hello? Anyone? Something. Whatever you think, tell me. Hello?
To avoid the bugs, maybe during the
Okay. Hello?
yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me, no problem.
Maybe to avoid the bugs.
Okay, to avoid defects. Okay, any other reason? Okay, one reason, correct, to avoid defects. Perfect. Any other? One is correct. Okay. To avoid defects.
Developers, they write the code, but they are also humans, right? They also make mistakes. So we need a tester to do all the test and correct it. Nice.
Yeah, that's what, right? To avoid defects, to identify defects.
Yeah.
To identify defects. So why? Because so the developers, they might make some human errors, or they might mistake the requirement, or whatever it is. So that is to identify the defects, so that we are not identifying in the production. Okay, so we are not or so that they are not found, you can say like this, so that they are not found in operational use, or whatever it is. So you're not finding them in the real time operational use. So this is the first point. So why? Because see, why we need to do the testing is, see, if you are not testing, if you're directly delivering the product, and if a customer finds a defect, so I mean, if that defect might be damaging the it might be damaging the application, or may cause an injury to the customer, so it might be a fatal defect. If it is a critical defect, it may be doing anything. So you need to do testing to identify defects, so that you are identifying them before delivering the product to the client, so that, see, there will be a lot of consequences if you identify defect at a customer's site. Why? Because see, if you are identifying a defect at a customer site, what happens, he will escalate coming I mean, he will escalate the defect of quality software. So what you have to do again, you need to rectify all those defects. So it will take time. So whatever time, so the main of not doing testing is, if you are identifying any defects, what happens, or the complete application is not working fine, so you need to develop the application again. So the time what you have taken to develop the application is entirely waste. So you can see, if you're losing money, you can get it back, but if you're losing time, you can't get it back. So in this time, you might have worked on some other project, or so the time is getting wasted, and it might cause some damage to the user who is using the application. So a lot of things will be there. So to avoid those consequences, what we are trying to do, we are testing the product before the client uses it, and if we are identifying any critical defects or something, we are going to report back to the developer to fix it, and we
Say,
are providing a, I mean, I'm not saying 100% bug free
నిన్ను
application.
అంటే నీది మీ నాన్నది మంచి ఫోటో ఎత్తి స్టేటస్ పెట్టు మీ నాన్న ఫిదా కావాలి
Can you go on
మొన్ననే
mute if you're
పెట్టిన
not
బర్త్డేకి
talking?
మరి ఓవర్ యాక్షన్ లో పెట్టదు
Hello.
బర్త్డే పెట్టినా
Can
నా
you go
దగ్గర
on
అయ్యే
mute?
ఫోటోలు ఉన్నాయి కొన్ని వేరే వేరే ఫోటోలు కూడా ఏం పెట్టింది
Tejaswini, can you go on mute if you're not talking? Thank you. Right. So to avoid these consequences, so we need to uh, identify the defects. Okay. So that is the first point. The second point is, so not only identify defects is our main goal. Okay. So identifying defects is one of the goal of a tester. But what is the second point is, so the client is giving some requirements. Okay. So out of that, the company will say, okay, these we can be able to deliver. So we are committing to some particular set of deliverables. Like, okay, these set of functionalities we are going to develop and deliver to you by this so and so time. So whatever the company is committing, to check if the all the committed requirements. I'm saying why I'm saying committed. I'll tell you in the later sessions. We will discuss when we will discuss about the SDLC method. I will tell you why I am saying committed. So to check if all the committed requirements have been implemented. Okay. So why? So whatever we committed to deliver or implement, to check, we have to check whether all those requirements or functionalities have been implemented in the application or not. So that is the second point. Why? Because see, if we have committed around 20 functionalities and we are only developing 15, and we are giving the product to the product to the client, so he will say, why? I mean, you asked, I mean, you said to deliver 20 functionalities, but only 15 are there. What about the other 5 functionalities, which is very important, which might be important for the from client's perspective. So you need to check as a tester if all the requirements, whatever the client is asking, have been, or the company has been committed, is being implemented appropriately. So that is the second point. Clear, everyone? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is what we need to do. I mean, we need to check. So why we are going to perform testing. So this is these are the some of the points. And one more point is like to reduce the risk. So there might be some risk with the product. So any application you see, you are not, I mean, whenever it is being developing, so the client may not be initially, he may not be confident if you are not providing any, if you're not doing any testing and directly give the application to the client, he might think, okay, so he's not that much confident to use the application. Why? Because he don't know like what, I mean, he's not sure whether the application will work perfectly or appropriately. So what we are doing, so by doing testing, we are improving the confidence in the application, so that the client will see, okay, they have tested the application, so they think like, okay, the application is the application will work perfectly because a testing has been done. So to improve confidence or to reduce the risk associated with the product. Why? Because so while doing testing, you will say like these areas we have tested. So you when you are testing or when you are completing the testing, you will tell you will give something like, okay, these areas have been tested and we I mean we fixed all the, I mean these areas have been tested and all the major or critical defects have been removed. So you can't expect any critical or major defects. So you only expect some minor issues. That is possible in every application. So every application is not perfect. So like anything will have some defects and some minor issues. So what we are saying, okay, we have tested these areas where you don't have any major issues and everything is fine. But some areas of application we are unable to test. So so that in that areas you might be able to identify some defects. So that thing we are telling to the client so that he will say, okay, he will get some confidence to use the application. So that is the third point. So what is the third point? To reduce the risk associated with the product. Clear, everyone? So why? What is the importance of testing and why we are performing testing? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before going to software testing and all the different concepts, what is the software? What is software? Anyone? Hello.
Software is a kind of application which runs by coding or some programs.
Okay. Right. Any other? Correct. Any other? Okay. I'll say like this. Right. This is how I define. It's perfect. Like you can say any way, but this is one of the way you can test. You can tell what is a. I mean, you can define a software. Software is nothing but So the process of converting your imaginary thoughts, I mean, imaginary thoughts is nothing but your ideas. So I mean, different persons will have different kind of ideas. So they are converting their ideas into reality. Reality means the application. So how they are converting into an application? By writing some set of programs. Okay. See, Facebook is an app. Facebook is the idea of whose idea is Facebook?
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's idea is Facebook. So he wanted an application, something where he can, I mean, where people can connect with some other people and they can share something, whatever they wanted. They can connect with different people all over the world or all over the, I mean, so all over the world you can connect with any people and you can share whatever you wanted. Like you can share some photos or something, whatever it is. There are so many things, right? So that is the idea of Mark Zuckerberg. So they converted the idea of Mark Zuckerberg. It's converted into an application, that is Facebook, by writing some set of programs. So that is nothing but a software. Okay. So how many kinds of softwares are there? What is the difference between these two? Any idea?
Project
Anyone?
is about a single customer or a single client, whereas the product it can be used by a number of clients, I mean number of customers.
No. Project is nothing but developed based on specific requirements. Specific in the sense particular to the client. Okay. So it's a specific requirements. And what is a product? Based on market requirements. What is market? Okay. Can you tell one example for project and product? One example for project? Anyone? One example for project. Hello. Am I audible?
I think outcome of the project is a product, sir.
No, they are entirely different things. It's not like outcome of project is product. So these are dependent on a specific requirements. So the client will, I mean, it's based on the client. So what the client is wanted in his application. Okay, product is like based on the market requirement. Market requirement. What is market? Not, I mean, market requirement is nothing but demands from the public. So what the based on the public feedback, like what public is expecting. So based on that, if you are defining or developing something, that is called as product. I will tell you. So let us say the most basic example. Gmail. Gmail is called a product. It's not a product. It's a project. You can say as project. Why? Because the whatever things that are developed, these are all from the Google, right? So the requirements, whatever coming, it is coming from Google, not. So you are not saying, okay, I want this requirement, please put it in your Gmail application. So you are not sending any feedback to the Google and they are not implementing it. Is that correct? Hello? Is that correct? So we are not saying like I want this requirement in this application or I want this application or I want this requirement. So they were developing their own requirements, like whatever they are, whatever enhancements or whatever things they are making, It's all the requirements from the Google, not from any particular. I mean, it's not a feedback from any people, right? So that is Gmail. Like there, you have so many applications. Like you can say they are called project. Like email is one thing, and even Facebook is also, you can say it's a project. Why? Because it's entirely the whatever Zuckerberg wanted, he is trying to implement in his application. Okay, so these are all you can call as projects, right? Any other clear, everybody? And when coming to product, can anyone tell what is a product? Example of product. You can see so many.
Windows,
Sorry.
Windows, whatever you're using.
Oh, I'm not understand.
Microsoft related softwares like Windows.
I think Microsoft, it is what you can say. You can say as a project only. Uh, these are all products. Mobiles, laptops, cars. These are all products. Why? Can anyone tell why these are products? Anybody? Why these are called products? How many different kinds of mobiles you can see in your in market? Hello. 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 Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, how many different kinds of mobiles you can see in market? Can anyone tell? Tell me how many different manufacturers are there, and each manufacturer how many different models they are releasing. Suppose take you take Samsung or Apple. So in Apple, how many different models we have? Hello. Right. See why mobiles and all these are things, right? So they are based on the market requirement. So see some set of like in market or in reality. See when you come to mobiles or something, so one different people will have different type of requirement. Okay, so let us say you can take a mobile phone. So some people they wanted a nice camera quality. Okay, some nice cam quality and a larger internal space. Apart from that, they are not looking for any other things. So what they'll see, they look for a phone with a higher megapixel. Like they'll say they look for some 50 megapixel or 64 megapixel. Now, I mean, whatever higher range, they'll go with the higher range of thing, and they'll see like 256 and their RAM, whatever RAM they are taking. Some people they are only they are not concerned about all these things. They wanted some mobile phone, so they'll take what they'll take within their budget. So depends on different set of people. Like what is their budget? In their budget, what is the best configuration they are having? Like they are looking for the cam or whatever is. Well, what is the camera? What is the internal memory, and what is the external memory it is providing? What is the speed, like which processor they are using? Someone will be keen on the processor, what kind of processor they are using. So what is the processing speed? So it depends on the different people. So based on different people, you see different mobiles. One you see like sometimes I mean you'll see different things. Like you'll see a 2 GB RAM mobile is there. I mean used to be there, and you'll have a 4 GB RAM or you have an 8 GB RAM. You can. It depends on the market requirement. So what is the public expecting? So based on the public expectations, you are defining or you are designing the new models. So you mobiles, laptops, and cars, even cars also. See, different based on the different public, like what requirements or what are the different features you are looking in your car. Whether you wanted see some things like not all the cars is having wireless charger. So some people will look for a wireless charger. So they'll keep it in the, I mean, depending on that, even the same model, you have different versions. So based on which person wants which version, he will buy that version or variant. So it depends on the market. What is the requirement of the public? So based on that, they are designing or manufacturing the things. So that's why they are called as products. Clear, everyone? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
So these are some of the basic things we wanted to discuss, and okay, still we have 10 more minutes. So we'll see now some basic terminologies what we are going to use in testing field or testing domain. The first one is scenario and test case. What is the difference between these two? What is a scenario and what is a case? So what is test scenario or and what is a test case? So test scenario is nothing but what to test or in how many ways we need to test. Clear? Understood what I'm saying? So what are you going to test or in how many ways you are going to test? This is all called as test scenario. So what to test, that means what we need to test or in how many different ways we need to test. That is nothing but a scenario. Clear, everyone? Hello? Understood what I'm saying?
Can you please
Let
repeat, sir?
I'll give you an example. See here. Okay, let us take a basic example. So you wanted to travel from one place to another place. So let us say that is a functionality. Assume that. Assume that just a second. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So what is the thing is, so you need to So let us say I am moving from Hyderabad to Vizag. Let us assume this is the, so you need to travel from here. So this is a functionality. So you need to travel from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam. Okay, so this is the functionality. So you need to test it. I mean, what are the different ways or something? So how can you travel? Anyone? How can you travel from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam? Hello. What are the different ways? Anyone?
For different modes of transport,
Yeah, modes of transport. How can you travel? I'll tell you. Right. So what is the first mode of transport? Anyone? How can you travel? What are the different modes? Right? Am I right? These are different modes, right? Okay. So will you agree? These are the different modes, right? Hello? Hello?
yes,
Right. So if you take this as a functionality, let us assume I'm just giving one example. So if you think like going from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam or Vizag is one functionality, so how many ways you can test it? So you can say, okay, we can either go by bus, or you can go by a train, or you can go by your car, or you can book a flight, or you can go by bicycle, or you can go by walking also. Okay. See the main idea is same in all the ways. What is that main idea? Going from traveling from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam or Vizag. But the way you are traveling is different. But the ultimate functionality is same. Okay. So this is one flow. I mean, flow is nothing but how the application or what you are going to test it. So what you are going to test here in this, so how to travel from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam by bus. So that is one way or what you have to test. So that is nothing but your test scenario. Scenario is nothing but, so for a particular functionality to test, how many ways you are going to test, what are the different things you are going to test. Clear? Everybody understood? Hello?
yes, sir.
Everybody understood? Able to understand? Hello? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
See, these are all the different scenarios. So traveling through bus is one scenario, traveling through train is one scenario, by car is one scenario. So these are the different scenarios that you can expect to test this functionality. So similarly, in time for a particular functionality, you may have multiple ways or multiple things to be tested. So that is all things are called as test scenario. A test scenario, now understood what is a test scenario? A test scenario is nothing but, so what you are testing. For that function you testing, and or in how many different ways you are going to test that particular requirement or a functionality is nothing but a test scenario. Clear? Any doubts? Hello?
Yes,
Any
sir, it's
doubts?
clear.
Clear, right? Now what is test case? So you have different scenarios now. So for each scenario, like if you want to travel through bus, you have some certain preparations you have, and you need to follow some steps, right or not? Okay. So okay, now you understood what to test. So if you want to travel from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam, okay, you thought that okay, there is a way by going to bus, but you want to go through bus, what are the things you have to follow? That means how to test, right? The test scenario is what to test, and test cases how we are going to test a particular scenario. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
And there is one more definition you can say. It is a set of preconditions. Sorry. Set of input, output, preconditions, and post conditions. Okay. See, for sometimes if you want to test something, you need some preconditions. Like in this scenario, if you want to travel in any of these scenario, you will have one prerequisite. What is that? What is the prerequisite or precondition? Can anyone tell? See, you want to go through a bus, what is the first thing you will do? You will pack your luggage, and the first step is you will pack your luggage. Second step is you will take a bus ticket, and then you will catch the bus, and then you will travel. So these are the three steps. See, even if you want to go by train, what is the first step? In everywhere, you need to pack your luggage. That is the common thing. So if that common thing, what you have to do, you can keep it as a precondition. If you want to travel, you need to pack your luggage, or you need to do certain preparations, right? So those are called as preconditions. In case of bus, you have to pack luggage or something. If it is a car, you need to check some things, whether your car is having sufficient fuel, or if you are some things like some prerequisites, everything is perfect. So all the function, all the car, I mean everything which is related to car is perfect, and the condition of car is good, so that you can travel. All these things are called preconditions. So that is nothing but, sorry, for some, I mean, if you want to test a particular scenario, you need some things that definitely you need. Otherwise, you can't test the scenario. So that are called as preconditions. Even after completing, or I mean doing the testing, you need to validate something after doing that. So those are called the post conditions. Input is nothing but what is the steps you are taking. For each and every step, you will have you will have some expectation. Okay, if I am making this one, this is what going to happen. So that is nothing but, so for any input, you'll have a respective output. So you can say, like, what is a test case? A test case is nothing but set of inputs, outputs, preconditions, and post conditions. So it is a combination of your input, output, precondition, and post condition is nothing but your test case. Clear, everyone? Or what you are testing? How to test is nothing but what are the steps you are following to take? What are the steps you are following to test the scenarios? Clear, everybody?
Yes.
So these are basic terminologies that you have to, that you will be following in testing. So in the next session, we'll discuss what are the differences, again, some differences between these things. Bug and failure. So most of the, these four terminologies, they look very much alike, but they have, they are not same. So even though they are looking same, they are not same. So there will be some differences between error, what is an error, what is a defect, what is a bug, and what is a failure. But if you think, they all say like, okay, everything they will be representing the same thing, but they are not same. Okay, so we will discuss what is the difference between an error and a defect and a bug and failure. Okay, clear everyone? So able to follow me? Hello, am I going too fast, or is this okay if I go like this? Hello, right, so you are able to follow, right, everybody?
So there is a lot of voice disturbance from your end from the initial of the class.
Sorry, a bit louder.
There's a voice disturbance from class starting and supervisor. There is a continuous voice disturbance from your end.
I think, today it might be a network issue, but mostly we'll have offline classes, right? So you don't have any disturbance there. I think today network is not good, so we have some network issues. I think the network is not good. But are you able to understand? Hello.
Yes, sir. It's okay for today.
Right. So I'm going too fast, or I need to slow down. I want to. Should I go a bit slower, or is this okay if I go in this flow?
It's okay for me, sir.
Okay, thank you then. We'll meet in the next session. So I'll tell, they'll inform when will be the next session. Right then, thank you. We'll meet in the next session. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Right, thank you. You can leave.